Alright, yeah, I get it. It's a very different studio, and my audio is terrible. I apologize. I am rearranging my room. I just do not have the ability to shoot professionally right now, so I am just doing this on my phone because I really wanted to talk about the film Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, and I didn't want to wait to shoot this non-spoiler review. Want to get it out there because I'm doing a spoiler review this weekend. So let's just get into it. Here is my review of Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Is this better than its predecessors, or does it still fall into the same trap I found this franchise to fall into? Find out right now.
Our war with the Muggles begins today!
How will we fulfill our destinies and transform the world?
Alright, so Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. This is the third installment in the J.K. Rowling penned Fantastic Beasts source. This is the third installment in the J.K. Rowling Fantastic Beasts film series, written again by J.K. Rowling and directed again by David Yates. This stars Eddie Redmayne, Dan Fogler, Jude Law, Mads Mikkelsen replacing Johnny Depp as Gellert Grindelwald. Jessica Williams is in this film, and this film follows the chase down of Grindelwald as he is ascending power within the magical world and trying to begin a war against the Muggle. This is Dumbledore leading his team to basically counteract what Grindelwald is doing. Anyone who knows me knows I am a fan of the Harry Potter franchise. It's probably the series that I know the most about. The most just random knowledge that I have in my head is devoted to Harry Potter. Legitimately, all my love of Star Wars, all my love of the MCU, comic books, all that, it's nothing compared to my knowledge of Harry Potter. I've read those books so many times. I've seen those movies countless times. I've even watched Fantastic Beasts multiple times, despite not particularly caring for the first two installments. So I have an absolute admiration for this franchise. So going into this film, I was really nervous because I have not cared for the previous two installments within the Fantastic Beasts. I thought the first one was fine for what it was. I thought the second one was a mess. And when I saw they were basically just running it back with J.K. Rowling penning the script, with David Yates returning to direct, I was really worried. Not only that, then it just has probably the worst stretch of time production-wise, where it's just everything that can go wrong went wrong. With the Johnny Depp situation, with most recently Ezra Miller, there just seemed to be so much playing against this film's chances of success that honestly my expectations for this film were really low. And going in today, I was excited but really just nervous going in because I'm like, they're going to do it and they're going to ruin a franchise I want to love. And for the first hour, I thought my prophecy had come true. I'm like, this film has nothing. I really dislike this film. I'm going to give it a negative review, and this honestly is probably the death of the wizarding world cinematically for the next couple of years. And then the second half of the film kicks in, and I was fully on board and invested. I ended up loving what Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore had to offer for the last hour and a half of its runtime. Now, while it was a little bit of a slog to get through the first hour, I think the payoff works ultimately really well. And let me just start off with the positives of this film, and the biggest positive. That's Mads Mikkelsen coming in as Grindelwald, replacing Johnny Depp. Obviously, Johnny Depp has been just mired in just controversy these past few years. I personally thought he was a decent enough Grindelwald. I like some elements that he brought to the character, but I was not in love with his interpretation. So when the announcement came that he was being replaced by Mads Mikkelsen, regardless of how you feel about Johnny Depp, all that controversy aside, just on a level of Do I think Mads Mikkelsen could make a great Grindelwald, which I've pictured from the books and who I wanted to see in this film series? I thought yes. I thought he was a perfect casting, and to be honest, watching this movie, I think he nailed it. He is so charismatically evil in this film. He felt like a politician the whole way through and through. He is intimidating, but he is yet charming, and just he kind of has this just like chagrin and style to him. He feels just absolutely like the coolest person in the room. Your eyes are always just drawn to him. He has this kind of aura around him, which makes him a very different villain that we've seen in the Harry Potter franchise. Excuse me, the Wizarding World franchise. So I liked that portrayal of him, and I think he is kind of just a rock star in this movie. He gets to just come in and be the most interesting character from the start. And his chemistry with Jude Law, who's portraying Dumbledore, is exquisite. You truly believe that these two characters have a past and that they were in love and that the fallout really hurt both of them and that their characters are so intertwined together. With all that, I just thought that stuff was fascinating. And the first scene we get with them is honestly just one of the best scenes in the Wizarding World franchise we've gotten in probably the past 10 years. It was truly a scene that just set the stakes for the movie right away and established the characters that we were going to get and be following through this franchise. And it continues throughout the whole film. Whenever Jude Law and Mads Mikkelsen are on screen together, it's magic at its purest. It's just the chemistry is there, and you're so enamored by these two presences. Returning characters are back. Dan Fogler is always just the MVP of these films. He's such a steadrock force in these films, and his character is just so utterly charming. You're just so on board with him and his character, and he makes every other character around him so much more fun to be around. I think he makes Newt Scamander's eccentricities, that just tones it down and you believe their friendship throughout. This film also has something that really surprised me, and that was really great action. I found David Yates's installments of the later Harry Potter films and the Fantastic Beasts series, I often found them a little uninspired. And going into this, I was worried because I thought the second one really struggled with its direction, specifically in its action sequences. That is not the case in this film. In this film, the action is actually a standout. There are a few scenes where I was watching and like, this guy's trying something new. He does a little bit more with the slow-mo that really adds a certain wizarding feel to the action that I think was sorely lacking from the previous installments. He's just willing to try more with the action and go a lot more crazier with the magic. Because before, it really just was two beams of light hitting each other and characters holding wands. That was the action. That's not the case in this film. There is like legitimately great action throughout and just really inventive ways to use magic. I really appreciated that from David Yates. And overall, J.K. Rowling pens a better story in this, probably because I think it's a lot more focused. We are focusing on the Dumbledores and Grindelwald and Newt Scamander and all them while they are still in the film. They definitely take a backseat to what they had previously done in the past few installments. They're still the main characters, but they are definitely there to serve the story of Dumbledore and Grindelwald. And I think that actually gave the film a lot of focus, because what was struggling in the last film, particularly Crimes of Grindelwald, was there were so many ideas stewing around that none of them really got a chance to develop in any meaningful way. This one, it's like, no, this is the centric story of it, and everyone's there is working for that greater good to improve the story. Now, this film is not without its faults. I already said I thought the beginning hour was definitely slowly paced. They do this thing where they just separate the characters and you know they all have to come back together at some point. And I'm just sitting there waiting, knowing that they're all going to come back together and that the action has no stakes at the beginning, because you're just like, they all have to clearly meet back together, that I just don't really care. And so you're just kind of going through these scenes that are kind of beat by beat by beat until we get to Hogwarts, which is really where the magic begins. Once the nostalgia kicks in, the nostalgia kicks in a really great way. The music in this film just elevates everything and gets you back to the emotion and feel of the original Wizarding World first established in the Harry Potter franchise nearly 25 years ago. That's crazy. And I was just so impressed with it. It was just, that was when I was in there, I was like, this is magic, and this is what I remember loving about Harry Potter. Something that I haven't felt recently with this franchise. It just made me feel young and happy about this franchise, which is a feeling I have not had about this franchise in the last 2 installments. I can say that pretty easily. I have to eventually do a breakdown of my issues with the Crimes of Grindelwald, because I think so often J.K. Rowling forgets her own lore or breaks her own rules in those, that was just like, it was driving me crazy. This film does it at times where there's some magic stuff that happens and I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. I'll break that a little bit more down in my spoiler review. But those scenes where I'm like, that doesn't really make sense, they were much more nitpicks and just something as a huge Harry Potter fan, the fan of the books who's read those books countless times, that I pulled and I'm like, I don't really believe that element, or that's a little far-fetched, or does that really make sense in canon? But besides that, I had a really fun time with this movie. I will be rewatching the last hour of this film fervently. I thought the ultimate finale of this film was really beautiful, and it was really touching, and it just hit the core of who the character of Dumbledore is and what I wanted to see him do and what he stands and believes in. And in that case, the emotion, the action, the performances, all of it came together in a way that I found satisfying, even if it was kind of a clunky journey to get to the third act finale. I cannot say that The Secrets of Dumbledore is an automatic recommendation. You need to know what is going on in the Fantastic Beasts series to follow along what's going on in this movie. This cannot be a film where you're like, I watched part of 1, kind of gave up on it, never bothered to watch 2, I just want to see Dumbledore. No, you really need to see Crimes of Grindelwald. So this is not a film you can just jump into. You're going to be lost. And I think that's a fair expectation because it is a sequel and it is the third in a franchise. You are a huge Harry Potter fan and you've lost faith in this Wizarding World franchise. I think this film could help restore it. I legitimately think there is a lot to love about this film. And while I did not think it is perfect, I'm going to go positive on this, and I'm going to give it a pretty strong positive review. I'm going 3 out of 4 stars for Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Notice on the logo there, the Fantastic Beasts part is really shrunken down on the logo. It is really The Secrets of Dumbledore. It kind of represents what the film stands for, where the Fantastic Beasts, while they're still there, very minor, and they are definitely serving the larger point of the key phrase, Dumbledore. And you know what? I wanted to see Dumbledore do some pretty awesome stuff. He did some pretty awesome stuff, so it delivered in that case. So yeah, that's my review of Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Check out and stay tuned this weekend because I am doing a full spoiler review of it because I have a lot more to say. In the meantime, thank you guys for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.